I wasn't trying to build a 7-figure business. It just happened. This was my story in my first business. So at the time, I wasn't chasing money. I wasn't strategizing my way to a certain revenue goal. I was simply creating something that I absolutely loved. I was in the joy of the process. I was fully being myself and letting my ideas flow, letting the work move through me. And I really think that people felt that. My team felt that. Our clients felt that. And they were drawn into the energy and the passion. And it was really something that happened out of being in full alignment. And before we knew it, we had crossed the 7-figure mark and I wasn't even tracking it. It just came as sort of a surprise. And I didn't do it by efforting or chasing. And so I really was creating at that time from this place of joy and presence and alignment. And that experience showed me something really profound. We don't create wealth by trying to get something. We create it by being the fullness of who we are, by being in the joy of creating and giving what's ours to give. And that's what this episode is all about, the shift from chasing money to becoming the source of it, from proving your worth to expressing your truth. So instead of doing just to get money, we're talking about giving from a place of overflow. So in this episode, we're going to flip this whole conversation around money on its head. And let's go ahead and dive in. I want to say welcome to another episode of the Live Your Yes Life podcast. My name is Lisa Limita. I'll be your host for today. I almost said co-host. I have a co-host to this episode. Her name is Kayla Jetta. She is my business partner at Rise Leadership Circle, where we help entrepreneurs to truly do just that, to live their yes life, their most fulfilled, lit up version of themselves. And we also help them by creating a business that funds the incredible life that they want to live. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's just start off talking about the model that most of us were taught around money and why I think it's broken. So we're told that the formula for making money goes something like this. You work really hard, you get paid, and repeat. And I think the underlying belief is that the more you do, the more you deserve. That money is something out there and you have to go chase it or earn it or prove yourself worthy of it. And if you're not seeing results, then you clearly just need to do more. But here's the truth. This model around money is a scarcity-based model. It truly breeds fear instead of flow. And what's so interesting is I feel like more and more of this in the online world right now. And that's part of what prompted me to bring this forward as a podcast episode. It seemed like in 2020, around that time when everybody was home, right, there was this surge of online businesses, particularly in the coaching world too. I felt like a lot of people jumped into the coaching world and, that's all well and good. But, we saw that there were a lot of people who just jumped in and maybe were a bit out of integrity, right? It was just sort of like, okay, I've got to do something. So let me do this thing to make money. And you can't blame anyone. Everyone needs to survive. So there's no shade here whatsoever. But when it comes to this conversation about money, what you really find is the people who were in it for the right reasons, the people who were truly coming from this place of service and help have survived the test of time. And we saw a lot of online businesses that just didn't survive. It wasn't in alignment for them. It wasn't in maybe the truth of who they were. And so I feel like I've been hearing a lot of people telling me, I just feel like business is changing. I feel like it's shifting. And I agree. I feel like there has been a shift, particularly in the online world. And I think it's a good thing. And we'll get into why I think that this is a good thing. And there's no reason to have any anxiety or fear about the way things are shifting. So first off, this model that we're talking about, this model where it's like you just simply, go to work, earn some money, repeat, it creates a loop of effort and anxiety. It's like you're always in pursuit. You're always trying to earn more or earn your worth, the sense of measuring your value by your output, so to speak. And then what often happens is when you don't see the money, the clients, or the results, people just start gripping harder, right? It's like you start to question yourself. You start to burn out in this it's like running on a hamster wheel, trying to always do more and more and more. And the truth is, like, universal law, which is always working, by the way, gravity is it's like one of the universal laws. Gravity is always working, whether you believe in it or not, right? Universal law tells us something different. Money is not actually a reward for effort. Money is a natural reflection of alignment, and it flows in proportion to who you are being and how you are expressing and giving to the world. It's a natural result of you circulating value and your creativity and your service and your love. So when we live from a consciousness of lack, what happens, right? We become tight, we hold back, we try to control. And ironically, we end up repelling the very flow we crave. And you guys, I have had seasons in my life like this. I told you the story about me creating from this place of joy and creation, not even really thinking so much about money and having all this money flow in. But I have had other seasons in my life where I was gripping, where I became fearful around money. And so I was creating from a place of fear. And all I was doing was experiencing more lack. When we live from a consciousness of sufficiency and we understand that money is meant to circulate, when we show up as the source instead of the seeker of money, everything changes. Money begins to move toward us. Opportunities find us. We feel supported instead of strained. So the real shift is this. You don't work to get money. You work to give. You work to give value. You work to bring your creative expression into you. Or into the world, I should say, right? The most joyful version of you, the most aligned version of you, of who you truly are. When you allow that creative flow to move through, and this doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or if you work a 9-to-5 job, right? That is how money flows to you. And I feel this is the shift that we're moving back into. I think that we're starting to understand that creating money is about giving. It's about giving our best value and our creative expression into the world. It's about being of high service and taking care of people and caring about people. And the companies and the businesses that can do that are the ones that are truly going to thrive in this economy. So when that becomes the intention behind your business and your offers or your work, money simply becomes the natural byproduct of your presence. So let's just take this conversation a step further. If money isn't the goal, then what is your work? Like, what is the point of your work, right? Your real work. And I'm talking here like your sacred, spiritual, soul level work is for you to become a channel of creativity, not a chaser. Right? Not someone who's just here to produce more and more and more, but a channel. And I don't mean a channel like you're channeling from the universe. You might be. I mean, that could be you, and that's amazing. But I really mean that you're a clear channel for your own unique ideas to flow through, your own unique expression to flow through. Because let's face it, there is no one on the planet who is you, who has had your life experience, who can bring things forward in exactly the way that you do it. And so when you are really embracing who you are, all of who you are from this place, then what wants to be expressed through you just comes forward. It comes forward naturally, right? You don't have to try to force it. And so when you're in this space, it's when you become truly, truly magnetic. I recently read the book, The Science of Getting Rich again. It'd been a while since I read it. And I remembered how much I enjoy this book. You know, it's interesting because I think it was written like in 1910. So there's a few things I feel like we've kind of evolved past. But the main point of this book still rings so true today. And it's a great read if you've not read it or you haven't read it for a while. And to kind of paraphrase or sum it up, in the book, the author's name is Wallace D. Wattles. He says, you're not here to make money. You are here to create. You're here to give. You're here to grow, right? We've get this lifetime on this planet, and we're not just here to make money. That's so not the point, right? So when you live this way, money is not something you need to hustle for. It's really something that you become a match for. So here's a couple things that you can do. If this is resonating for you and you're feeling this, you could bring this to your morning practice. I mean, I definitely love to just connect in with myself every single day in my daily spiritual practice. And you could do something like ask yourself, okay, what wants to come through me today? And you just tune in and, pay attention to what lights you up, what you're curious about, what you've been thinking about, what would feel joyful for you to give. So this is not about depletion. It's not about, I don't know, like being a martyr or overgiving in your business. It's about choosing the expressions that nourish you and that also serve others. So it's a both and, right? This isn't a time that we need to be overgiving and depleting ourselves. It's when you're creating in this way, the creating itself nourishes you, and then you get to give that out into the world and it nourishes the world. That is when money is attracted to you like a magnet. I feel like so many entrepreneurs are trying to get seen. They're trying to attract clients. So it's kind of like they're trying to hack the system of these universal laws. And it's not about hacking the system, right? It's got to be about embodiment. It's got to be about you being the fullness of who you are. And I don't know, sometimes I see these courses where it's like, you can just follow this step-by-step system and say these words and take my script. And, that might be great if somebody's getting started to kind of learn some things. But ultimately, it has to be your own essence, your own creativity, your own unique voice that you bring out into the world. And I feel like the clarity that you're looking for. So just notice if you're like, I'm just looking for clarity, that clarity will always come from your own alignment to the truth of who you are. And sometimes we have to stop pushing. We have to stop efforting in order to tap back into that alignment. It feels like a bit like it's about coming home to yourself. This is not about becoming the person who has to hustle or be someone else in order to be successful. It's really the opposite, right? It's about being the fullness of who you are, being the channel for that expression, and knowing that that is actually the way money works. We don't have to grip, or we don't have to worry so much about getting everything perfect. When you simply can truly be in the joy of expressing that, money is going to be aligned to you. Now, this doesn't mean, I'm not saying that you still don't need to do the things, right? There are things we need to do in business to have a sound and stable business. And all of those things are super important. It's another way that we attract money to us, by having clear energetic containers and by having clear practices in your business that allow for that. But for this conversation, we're really talking about attracting money by who you be. So I want to leave you with just a couple more practices. I want you to just bring this to life for you and how you can really take this on right now. So one, we talked about that morning ritual. And one of the things that I would do, or that I do actually, is it's an embodiment ritual, right? It is me and part of my daily spiritual practice to be connecting with the truth of who I am and to really think about who I'm becoming, the vision that I'm stepping into, and what's required of me, and how I'm showing up for the day. You could even ask yourself, or you could journal this out, like, how can I serve as the clearest channel for joy or truth or creation today? And it's really important that you begin to feel the energy of that future version of you. How we feel, the emotions that express in our body are super, super important. So you want to be really tapped in order to let that creative flow really come through you. And I also think that gratitude is the most profound anchor of your frequency. So if you're not sure where to start with this, you could simply start with gratitude. Gratitude is a state that you can live from. You don't even have to be grateful for something specific. You can just pull up the feeling of gratitude anytime throughout the day that you need a reset. Maybe you take a couple deep breaths and you just say, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bring in the frequency of gratitude. Sometimes when we make gratitude lists, it can kind of take us into thinking about all the things we have, which then might take you into thinking about what you don't have. If that messes up your frequency, you don't even have to make a list. Just say thank you. Connect to your breath, shift your energy. I want you guys to try this. It is such a powerful shift. Give gratitude all day throughout the day, and you're going to see some things just start popping in your life. So here's another thing you guys can do if you really want to bring this to life is think about this before you post or before you write an email or you make an offer. You can just simply ask yourself, am I being the version of me who gives from joy, who gives from overflow? Am I creating from fear or am I creating from my soul? And if you get that if you get hooked into a bit of scarcity or lack, or you notice you're creating from fear, all you have to do is pause, recenter, tap back into gratitude, and go again. And this is the daily work, you guys. This is it. Like, we get to do this day after day after day. It's the real alignment work, right? It's subtle, but it's powerful. And it's work we get to do throughout the day. It's okay that, none of us stay vibrating at the highest frequency all day, every day. And that's okay. We live in the world, right? But just notice that you can take yourself back. You can come back to gratitude. You can come back into your heart. You can come back into the truth of who you are. And the world begins to respond to who you are and who you are being, not just what you do. The more you show up as you, as the source of money instead of chasing money, the more anchored into joy you'll feel as you're creating. And so you're going to notice it's like, oh my gosh, I'm no longer working for money. I'm working from abundance. And that is the biggest shift. So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation today. I love, love, love your feedback. Reach out. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're feeling this shift in your bones, if you are like, oh, this is what I needed to hear today, I'm so excited to just be creating from the truth of who I am. If something is here for you and you want to go deeper, we have a few calls left right now. Each month we open up a limited amount of calls. It's a free call called a Yes Life Activation Call. And on these calls, we uncover where your energy can be out of alignment, what's ready to be released, and what is calling to be activated so that you can truly create success from your highest truth. You get to create from joy and clarity and ease. And so if you want to have the experience of one-on-one coaching, it's either with Kayla and I or it's with a member of our team, click the link in the show notes and just say yes. Make this time for yourself. Have that Yes Life Activation Call. We are here to support you in whatever way we can. Okay, you guys, I look forward to seeing you in future episodes of this podcast. And if there's something you'd love for either Kayla or I to speak into, a guest you recommend we have, or you have suggestions, we are all ears. Please reach out and let us know. All right, I'll see you guys next time.